The industry as a whole is failing our puppies. We see it at the other end. We see it with reactivity, leash aggression, or in shelters, dogs that are being seized or surrendered. The big players and many of the little ones are flooding us with marketing and ideas that make us, the human, feel great and make us feel like we're doing the right thing for our young dog's development, when all we're doing is creating a massive issue for ourselves when those dogs hit 1.5 to 2 years. We see it all the time. One of the big issues that we have with people coming in is their perception of what puppy school, puppy training should be. The whole concept of how we develop a pup has been heavily muddied, and it makes it hard for school providers. So it's our job, certainly in that first session when people come in, is to help them understand why these things they may think are going to help them develop their pup and create the puppy that they want are actually going to cause huge issue for them in 1.5 to 2 years time. People come to puppy school, puppy training with this high expectation of socialization. They want their young puppies to be playing with other puppies. It makes them feel good. It looks cute and fun. The ideal scenario and the best way to educate a young dog in terms of dog social behavior is to put them with an older, more stable dog. That will teach them appropriate social behavior. That's more in line with what they would see in a more natural scenario. They will be around dogs of varying ages. Those older dogs will tolerate some behavior and not tolerate other types of behavior, and it won't be high adrenaline fueled play. One of the biggest reasons that we see dogs blowing up on lead at 1.5 to 2 when hormones, prey drive, things kick in, is because they're wildly frustrated. Your dog's walking along, it has this extremely positive association with dogs. It associates dogs with adrenaline. Adrenaline creates significant issue in this scenario. The dog leads into the lead, it can't get to the other dog, and now it blows up out of frustration. The other aspect that people tend to put a little bit too much emphasis on, which sounds counterintuitive in terms of me saying this, is the training of the dog from a perspective of learning behavior. So people start training their dogs to sit, drop, loosely walk, these types of things. Now, here's the catch. What we want to be doing with young pups is developing the right emotion, creating the right emotional state for learning. So we don't have an ability to teach our dogs, or if you're in a classroom with students, unless they are engaged. We want them engaged in the process. If we're trying to teach a human student and they're not engaged in the process, well, it's forced learning. So it's going to be quite suppressive and they're not going to be in the right state of the mind. Same with our dogs. We want to create a dog that's highly engaged with us. They see huge value in us, and then the training process becomes really fast. The problem we have if we don't get that emotion right is when that dog hits 1.5 years, if it's just learnt to do things essentially against its will, it's no longer going to do them because hormones, prey drive, things are going to take over, and that dog will leave you for dead. You go to a park environment, that dog will not be looking back at you. So what I'm getting to is that one of the first things we should be developing with our pups is just handler value. And the exercises around that can even look nonsensical to somebody looking in from the outside. You might come to one of our puppy training classes and think, why are they running around with food, doing a lot with toy play? I want a dog that sits, doesn't chew the couch, pees outside, all of these things. Well, we know what's coming at 1.5 years and 2. The issue you're going to have with your dog at 1.5 years and 2 is not going to be whether your dog can sit or drop. It's when you go to that open park environment. When you recall your dog, will your dog have a strong desire to come back to you, or is it going to bolt and chase the lady who's pushing the crying baby in the pram? Where is the issue going to be? Will your dog get to a point where you can no longer give it off-lead freedom because you don't have control, you don't have effective control, you can't recall your dog? So if we look back to the dog's early development, you might come in thinking, I want to teach my dog to sit, drop, loosely walk, recall. It's all irrelevant at the start. What we want at the start is to build handler value, engagement with the handler. Once we have that, all of those things come really quickly. We can teach skills like sits, drops in a week or 2. Those things we can layer in really, really fast when the dog is engaged and has high level of value and focus on the handler. And the other aspect of what we want to develop in terms of the dog's emotion is confidence. We want confident, robust pups that are confident in the world. If we have a confident dog in the world, that dog is far less likely to do something that will cause others harm or itself harm. If it's got a calm, balanced state of mind, that dog will enjoy the world more, and it will be more engaged with the handler and will be able to do a great deal more with that dog. So the two things I've just brought up are emotion-based. We're going to look at building a confident pup. We're going to look at building a pup that is highly engaged with the handler. Now, if we developed a puppy program solely around those two things and I marketed that and showed the exercises around that, no one would come. They would look at that and wouldn't have a great level of understanding what we're doing. And some things, like I said earlier, would look a bit strange. But that's where the value is. So we do a mix of everything, but we lean heavily into those two things. Puppy schools that don't are failing young dogs.